What's going on, guys? It's time to start tearing my daily driver apart. We finally had everything on hand to make the truck a roller. In the previous video I went through what that means and what all we had. After a few weeks, finally the day had come that JH had an open spot in his shop. So we had one more drive and it was time to start cutting her up. So that involved removing things like the axles, the shocks, the shock mounts. Basically from the body down, it was a bare empty frame.
The whole front end is out.
Most of the unbolting and cutting wasn't too bad because Justin was right there working with me throughout the whole thing. What sucked a lot was stripping that frame down. So in order to make it a clean surface to weld the subframe to, I had to go through and literally take a paint scraper and scrape all that factory undercoating off the frame. But that wasn't all. That was just to get the top layer. Then I had to go through with aircraft stripper and acetone, wipe the whole thing down until it started to smear, and wipe it with a clean rag, and then move on to another spot. It took me about 6 hours just to strip all that undercoating off. It's 2:30 in the morning. Got here about 9:15. Got all the shock mounts and all that bullshit up front cut out and completely cleaned all the frame. That is one of the biggest pains in the nutsack ever. It takes forever. You gotta scrape it all and then go over it all with paint stripper to get all that undercoating off. Boy, she is pretty. But man, that was a pain in the ass. Once we had it all stripped down, it was time to load it up on the trailer and get it over to Hudson Welding so we can start building the subframe. I started talking more and more to Brian about how we were going to build a subframe. At first we were kind of thinking we were going to keep the subframe pretty basic and simple, but the more I thought about it, I wanted the subframe to set that truck apart from others. So this is again where Brian was a tremendous help in the truck build. We went and sat at his computer for a few hours and sketched up a lot of different subframes and ended up actually striking out with nothing that we really liked. It just so happens I was getting ready to go on a business trip for a few days, so Brian went on his computer and roughly sketched out what my truck factory frame looked like. Then he also set my wheels in place and did a basic sketch of what the wheels looked like and set them where they were going to be based. Once he had the sketch done, we ran it through the copier and made like 60 copies of it. So throughout the next few days, any free time I had, I spent taking a Sharpie and just drawing different truck subframes. When I got home from the trip, I showed Brian a couple of my favorite subframe ideas. From there, we narrowed it down to one subframe idea we really liked, and Brian made a couple of changes to give it optimum strength. And lo and behold, we have my subframe blueprint. So as Kenny and Chad over at Hudson Welding started going through my blueprint and kind of laying out how the truck was going to be, they ran into a little problem. See, originally the idea was they were going to have me back the truck into their shop. They were going to use their floor lift to lift the truck off of the trailer. They'd set the truck at the proper ride height, move the axles underneath it, and basically just start building it all together. The only issue was their lift didn't go quite high enough to have the truck sit at its proper ride height. That opened up another project. We had to build some roll-around wheels. Just like before, I called up Southern Wheel and Tire and got a set of wheel shells and got with Brian, and we went ahead and drew up a very simple wheel center so that we could build some roll-around wheels. Please excuse my Parkinson's with my cell phone. Definitely got penetration though, I'll tell you that. Baby ain't going fucking nowhere, I'll tell you what's up.
So, roll-around wheels are welded up, painted, and mounted the tires on. Bam! Fucking killing it. Yeah, brother. So now we'll be able to get my truck out of the freaking shop when it's done. Because in case y'all didn't know, it's going to be too big to get out of the shop. What a great problem to have. I fucking tell you that. We finally had everything we needed for the fabrication process to start. If y'all enjoyed the video, please hit the like button at the bottom of your screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.